All right. I'm joined here with Streets LA. I'd love to ask what you do for a living, and I'd love if you could let the people know.
I own a finance company.
Okay, very cool. And you do another thing too on the internet that a lot of people have become aware of in the last year or so, involving Scientology. Yeah. I'd love for you to kind of like let us know what that entails.
Yeah, so I mean, we've been holding daily protests against the Scientologists for months, to the point where we've essentially shut down their recruiting center. And from there, we've gone to other sort of protesting against them. We're going to continue protesting until we get their tax exempt status removed.
Okay, so that's the ultimate goal.
My ultimate goal is to end Scientology, or the Church of Scientology.
Yeah, because I mean, literally, you've been out there for what, the last like 6 months, pretty hardcore or so?
I would say, my beef with them started back in April 30th of last year. I got into a huge argument with them on the street. They acted like they controlled the sidewalk.
Okay, a public sidewalk.
A public sidewalk at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday night. I was actually filming a police stop.
Oh, really?
And they were complaining about me being where I was. They told me I was too close to their door, that I needed to leave. And this is a side entrance of an office building on a Saturday night at 11 o'clock. How much traffic is going through there? Not to mention you have 4 police cars right in front, and cops have their guns pulled and they're handcuffing people. And I was trying to film that, and they kept on trying to interfere with me while I was doing that.
Okay, so you didn't even have an original, you didn't have someone like that you knew that was in the church or something like that. Like, they literally just messed with the wrong guy.
Yeah, I'm petty, man. I'm petty like that.
I love it, because initially how I found you was you had the account where you yell at robots, like the delivery robots on the street. And I was like obsessed with this account. I still love when you do these videos. Like, what are they, some of the names on these robots? You yell at them and you're like, get out of the way.
Yeah, Austin, and I was just looking at one on the way over here. I yelled out the window at him.
Yeah,
they owed me my money. I want my money.
Yeah, because they control the street, the sidewalk too.
They used to. They know who runs the sidewalk now.
Yeah. I love that. So I think it would be helpful for people to know what Scientology is. I know there's a huge can of worms, and people are aware of what South Park has said and all that kind of stuff. But
sure.
What is Scientology, and what are some of the crazy things that they do, and the levels and all that kind of stuff?
Sure. Scientology, to me, is a human trafficking cult. Whether they human traffic is not in dispute. They do. They call themselves a religion, but to me, it's more of a multi-level marketing scam. They essentially recruit people into Scientology, recruit them into what they call the Sea Org, and get these people to work 110 hours a week. They pay them $0. They live in a compound, sleeping 4 to 6 per room. They're disconnected from their family. They have no ability they don't have cell phones. They don't have access to the internet. If they do talk to their family, it's usually only by email, and that's being screened.
Wow. Okay.
So this is a human trafficking cult, and a lot of the recruiters that we've been dealing with out there are from other countries. They're from Colombia, they're from Ukraine, from Russia. They come over here, and then they have their visa taken from them. And so what they're doing now is they're essentially working as slaves. So it's a religion that uses sort of slave labor. And I don't really want to call it a religion. It's a cult. Cult is more accurate.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So they will give them citizenship if they come over here, or not citizenship, but visa. They work under Scientology, and they can revoke that at any point.
So they don't even work, right? So they don't get paid. So they are considered volunteers, working 110 hours a week, working 15, 16 hours a day. Wow. Volunteers. And they don't have the ability to leave because they don't have their visa. Right?
Oh, okay.
So it's a real catch-22. And so, it's highly abusive.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage of these people. And on top of it, since they are considered technically by the IRS a religious organization, they have tax-exempt status. So imagine you have a company, right? You have employees, they have to work 110 hours a week for free.
Yep.
On top of it, you don't have to pay any taxes because you're a religious organization. It's if you have a company, if you can't thrive under those circumstances, there's a problem. What they've reached a point where they are still not thriving. They own a lot of property, but they don't have a lot of revenue coming in. And what we've been trying to do is stop that revenue by stopping the inflow of new recruits and stopping the inflow of their processes that they use out on Hollywood Boulevard to raise money.
So they're going after just random people. I've seen in your videos you've mentioned that a lot of them are people that don't speak English very well or lower income, and they are preying on these people with like a personality test, right? Like they walk up to you and they say, I was on Hollywood Boulevard. I used to live there, and I walk up and they go, test your IQ, hand me a thing. They make it look like it's some official Mensa thing or something like that. And then you go on the website and it's really Scientology, but they won't even say it off the rip. They're just saying like, how smart are you?
Right.
Find out.
Yeah, so they offer 4 different, like I call them sales techniques, right? They offer a personality test, an IQ test, a stress test, or the 4th one is they offer to free movie tickets. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Free movie tickets are a movie about the book Dianetics, their book, their sort of Bible.
No.
And they're just trying to set you down in front of the movie. When the movie's over, they come with the book and they ask, do you want to pay cash or card? Now they're saying a free movie, but it's all part of the setup to sell you. With the personality test, they bring you into a room. They ask you 200 questions about yourself. And at the end of that test, they are going to say that your life is messed up and you need our help. And here's what it's going to cost you. You need to buy the book. You need to buy seminars, on and on and on.
Gotcha. Okay. And they bring you in there too. And when they're doing this, eventually once you're in the organization, I've heard that they, what's that thing? You hold a cylinder.
Yes.
And then you basically spill your secrets and then they have it on you. And it's like, if you try to leave, they'll be like, well, you did this, you did that. And we have it recorded and taped, right? Can you explain what that is? What's it called?
Yeah, that's called an e-meter. And it's essentially, from my understanding, 2/3 of a lie detector test.
Okay.
And so what they do is they'll bring you in and they do what's called an audit session. They're going to ask you personal questions about your life. What are your feelings about your mother? What are your feelings about your father? What are your feelings about your girlfriend, your wife, your cousins? What is the worst thing you ever did to them? Get all these secrets. Now, if you lie to them, they're going to know because they have you set up to a lie detector test.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to work the truth out of you. But that's all being recorded and documented, both video and audio.
Okay.
And they do not get rid of those audit sessions. So now they have all that information about you. And so if you were to try to leave Scientology, they'll say, you know, do you want me to tell your mother what you really think about her?
Wow.
What your cousins, what you really
So
think
full
about?
Blackmail.
Here's
ability.
what you have done to them that they didn't know about because we did these auditing sessions. So they use that as a tool to sort of, it's a blackmail tool.
It's fucked up.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
And again, this whole religion relies on deception, this constant deception. Like you were saying, when they're out in the street, they're not saying, hey, do you want to join Scientology? If I go to a church around a block from Scientology, if I go in there and I say, hey, what are you guys about? And they'll say, okay, well, here's a Bible and here's what we believe. They won't tell you that. They'll say, oh, no, we're just use deception. They'll try to get you to take those tests. And it's funny because, like you said, they try to make it seem like these are really authentic tests.
Yeah.
They claim that their personality tests or IQ tests are created by Oxford Analysis something to try to make it seem like they're associated with Oxford University.
But it's not in any
But
capacity.
it's not in any way. It's Scientology.
Do they ever come after you? Like I've seen videos online of like ex-members that are being like harassed. Are you being harassed yourself? Because I know they all know about you, all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it started with simple things like they'd wait down a block for me in a Prius, and when I'd walk to the intersection, they would take off. I've always joked that I got
in a Prius though.
No, in a Prius.
It's still scary. I mean, I feel like you have like a good nature about it. Like you are like pretty savage, honestly, and like someone messes with you. But for some people, like I think you're taking it well because it's still like weird. Even if it's in a Prius, it's still fucked up. But yeah, so they've been.
So I mean, listen, I'm aside from this. Before I started doing all this, I've been a cop watcher. I'm a police accountability activist.
Okay.
So I'm used to a certain amount of harassment. I'm used to cops off duty following me around, cursing me out. So when I have some lady in a Subaru or a Prius doing it's not as scary.
Okay.
With that having been said, it has escalated, and it's gotten to the point where, I mean, I've had people spit on me. I've had people blow their nose on me. I've had people threaten me. We had a guy come and get arrested who had a gun on him in front of the Scientology place.
Oh, wow.
A few nights ago, one of our guys got beat up and put into the hospital.
Wow.
And, lost a tooth.
And do you think that Scientology put people up to that?
Yes.
You're like pretty confident about that?
Yes, because it's not the first time it's happened. In my personal opinion, we have had people come up and punch, kick, pull out knives on us. This has happened over the last 2 months where it's been a constant thing. And quite honestly, it seems like, they all end up walking to the same direction down the street to the Scientology's Narconon Center.
Oh, okay.
And
so you think they go there, they maybe pay them, hey, like someone that's unhoused, here's $100, go up and attack.
I do.
Streets of LA.
Yeah, I do.
Wow. Okay.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
That
And
is
I'll be
crazy.
honest with you, I was skeptical of that at first. A lot of other people in my group had thought that at first, and I'm like, well, it could be a coincidence. But it's gotten to the point now, it's so targeted.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's everyone that's going out there, because for people that don't know, like at the beginning, it started off with you out there and pretty much by yourself doing this. And then you kind of created like a righteous army, I should say. Like,
Yeah.
I use the term army lightly because it's, you're not actually like assaulting them. You're very careful to make sure no one assaults anyone, because obviously one hit and then you're banned for life from that area. You have the restraining order, all that kind of stuff. So you basically have created like a tourist attraction where people are coming from all across the country, around the world, people that are visiting, to go basically watch the zoo that's going on inside of the Scientology building, which is funny because I went down there and that's how I met you in person. And it's basically like you have 30 people at night, all having a good time. Everyone's, 40 people are live streaming, and then we're just peering inside of this building, and Scientology is just like doing fake tasks. They're on the phone with no one. They're walking around. People, I think they're paying people to probably come in front of people to make it look like, because like who is going in the building? Everyone's like, don't go in, don't go in. Like any normal person would be like, what the hell is this? So like, do you think people go in there now as a joke, or like are people actually still like, curious about it all?
So I think some people will go in because it's a joke.
Yeah.
Some people will go in just because they're curious, but they have no intention of signing up. They just want to see it for themselves because they've seen it all over TikTok. It's a tourist attraction. Okay. So in a lot of ways, they're just wasting their time in Scientology.
Yeah.
They are
That's
having
great.
a very difficult time recruiting, period. Because listen, they get by on deception. They rely on people not knowing what Scientology is. And what we've been doing is we've been informing the public exactly what Scientology is and what they stand for. So, the crowd, it started, it actually started years ago with other groups like Anonymous, Angry Gay Pope, and, some SP Spanglish, and I can't think of those guys' name. Nasty Nathaniel.
Okay.
They did some great work. These guys were actually infiltrating.
Yeah, they're inside. They have like hidden glasses, because now they're pretty on that, right?
Yeah,
if you have like glasses,
you can't do that now. It won't happen.
Yeah, because I've seen crazy videos. Like, what's that documentary you recommended? I watched it, Going Clear.
Yeah.
Because isn't it when you're clear? Actually, and this is really interesting. I'd love for you to tell people, because you'll stand in front of these Scientologists and you'll be like, "You will burst into flames if I let you know about the next level." So like, I think people should know about like the levels of Scientology and how you have to pay money to get there. So if you could explain that, and like what being clear is, and so they have a multi-level marketing scheme for sure. Yeah.
So they have different levels, right? So the first level you're really trying to get to is to a level of clear, and you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars, like $100,000, just to get to this point, right? And each level costs more money, and it gets progressively more expensive until you get to OT8, which will cost you about $1 million.
Wow, like Tom Cruise.
Like Tom Cruise. And so, you have these different levels, and a lot of people are familiar with the South Park episode with Xenu and the popsicle people, and bringing the people to the earth and dropping them in volcanoes, and their spirits rose up, and some weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's OT3. So you have to pay after you get clear, you have to pay like another $50,000, $100,000 just to get to that point. Now imagine that. Imagine you get to OT3, you just paid $100,000. Okay, you're like, you know what? Give me what you got.
Yeah.
What am I going to learn? And they open up a box and they teach you about Xenu, saying there was overcrowding in another galaxy, so they took 1 billion people and froze them and brought them to Earth and dropped them in the volcano and dropped the hydrogen bomb in the volcano, and their spirits rose up, and they captured their spirits, and they brainwashed their spirits and flung the spirits out, and now they're all attached to us.
And that's what they believe at
That's what they believe.
At O3, they say OT3.
OT3, they believe that. And these spirits are attached to us, and they cause all our insecurities and all the bad things in life. And what you need to do is, once you remove those spirits, you'll live forever. And so they're going to help you remove those spirits, but it's going to cost you $100,000. Wow. Imagine getting to that point and reading that and say to yourself, you know what? Yeah, this sounds great. I finally learned the truth. Rational people are going to listen to that and say, no, let me get out of here. I'm not spending any more money, but maybe it's just like sunken costs that they've spent so far.
I guess if you're also growing up inside, or like if you're young, for example, because I feel like anyone on the way up would just Google, is Scientology legit? Find the South Park episode, like learn all this stuff before, but like, are they just in such denial and they've put in so much money that it's
they're taught to be in that denial, to reject everything that they hear in the outside world, that all of that is just fake. And so don't even bother looking. So they don't even look.
They're just like locked in tunnel vision.
Yeah.
What is the top level?
OTA.
Like OTA. And what do you learn then? Do you know? Because there's
more gibberish. It's just gibberish. So we have, the thing is, if you can actually go and find all these levels online, WikiLeaks posted these. I often joke with them that,
wow.
It costs all this money to learn all these levels. I will give it to you guys for 3 payments of $9.99. It'll save you a ton of money. But, or we have like some sort of opportunity where they could do referrals. You guys refer some people to me for that price. I'll give you $100, whatever.
Yeah. You start your own subsection of Scientology.
A little franchise opportunity.
Yeah. Do you think that they have like all this dirt on Tom Cruise and John Travolta?
Yes, because they've done all their auditing sessions.
So like Tom Cruise, hypothetically, like, I don't know, like molests a child, for example, or something like that. He says that, and he is now their golden boy that can't ever say anything bad about Scientology because they'll fling it against him.
Exactly.
Wow.
They know all of their secrets.
Do you think that I'm wondering, do you think that Tom Cruise or John Travolta actually believe in Scientology? Or is it just hard to know?
Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, I think when you get to that point, you have to sort of be a believer.
Yeah.
I think listen, it's a cult, and there's some people who are definitely trapped up in there. I think treating them all as sort of victims, if we act like they kind of like they're brainwashed or whatever, I don't think it's healthy to treat them as victims because they're perpetrators in this, right?
They're also adults too.
They're adults.
The children is like that's sad, and that's
a different story.
Grown up in it, it's their whole life.
Listen, I know this one girl who was out there on Hollywood Boulevard recruiting. She came over here from Russia when she was 16. She has a decent sized TikTok account, like 35,000 followers, and she came here to become an actress. I suspect she got caught up in some of the acting classes that they offer, and got wrapped up into it. Now she's 18, walking up and down the boulevard, looking depressed. And she's kind of just roped in and stuck. I feel bad for her. The other ones, though, I don't. I think it's actually unhealthy to sort of feel bad for them. My sympathy are with the people that they're trying to recruit into this cult. Yeah,
because they're just perpetrating the problem. Getting other young.
They're true believers, and they're roping people in and ruining lives. That's what the end result.
Yeah, because Sebastian is obviously the talk of the town. Did he get like taken away because of the video?
He's back at the Blue Building now.
Okay.
There was a story that came out. It was a bad story in a Rolling Stone about Sebastian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he literally got his own article.
Oh my gosh!
It was I think the reporter was a sort of a fangirl of Sebastian.
Because what's his story? He's like
he's just another one of the people in there. He's a true believer.
Yeah.
People feel bad for him. They say, "Oh, look at him. He looks unhappy." Actually, when I first started coming there, he was very happy. He was their top salesperson.
Oh, okay.
He was getting all sort of recognition, and we shut it down. We made it impossible for him to recruit. And that's when he started looking depressed.
Okay.
And so he was upset, not because of his life in Scientology. He was upset because we screwed up the thing he had going for him. And I don't feel the least bit bad for him.
Gotcha. So now so he didn't get shipped off to, he's just in the other.
He's just in the other building down the street, the Blue Building.
Gotcha. So, and they shut down at other locations as well, too, not just LA. Like, you're winning the war, basically, right now.
Well, it's more than that. So what we want to do is our first goal is to initially just shut down that location, right? Because it's a prime location.
Yeah.
It's their #1 recruiting spot in the world by far.
Okay.
Because where is it at? It's right there in Hollywood and McHatton, a block away from Hollywood and Highland. Probably the most trafficked intersection in all of LA, right?
Yeah.
The foot traffic there. The people that are coming there, first off, they're usually on vacation, so they have time to spare. They have money.
Yeah.
And they're on Hollywood Boulevard, and you're talking about a free personality test. They're walking past all these theaters and stuff.
They think it's like Ripley's Museum. Believe It or Not. They think it's just like a fun little thing.
Yeah. I mean, actually, from the outside, it looks sort of appealing. It looks like sort of an Apple store. It has all the technology on the wall.
Yeah.
All these TVs and the e-meters set up. Now they frosted the windows, so you can't even see in there.
Really?
Yeah, they completely frosted the windows.
Just happened?
That just happened when they shut down. They shut down.
Oh, wow.
Windows. They've been shut down now for 20 days.
Such a win. I mean, it makes me sad that, there's not more festivities to be had, but like the ultimate goal is shutting them down.
Well, they're going to reopen again, and we're going to shut them down again. Listen, Scientology believes they should never take a step back to fight. And they tried that. They've tried in so many different ways. But right now, they've shut down. They have been forced to retreat, something that's sort of heresy to them. So yeah, that's where we got them at, and it's a small win. But shutting down that place was just part one. The second part was trying to get the information out to the public.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know what Scientology is.
Yeah.
Now it's synonymous with it's a cult, or es una secta, or es un culto.
I love when you yell that at people. Yeah.
Yeah, and so people, they know. You're walking down the street even today.
Or honking.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a cult. It's a cult. People know, and young people know. And I always say, when young people know about it, they don't want to have, if their parents are coming to Hollywood Boulevard, young people, a 14-year-old is going to say to their parents, whatever you do not go into that place, because I don't want to go to school and have a video out about you on TikTok going into that place. So they're warning their parents. So the information is getting out there. When I've been out there, I have people come and say, I love your videos. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I'm from Yemen. I'm from Ireland. I'm from Australia. I'm from the UK. They're watching this stuff around the world. They're learning about it. And that's Scientology's worst nightmare.
I'm curious, were you religious, or are you religious at any point in your life?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just, people always ask me, what's my religion with this? Is it because, your religion is, against them or whatnot? I'm non-religious. I kind of find a little bit of all of it kind of a little weird to me.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
But with that having been said, this is the difference between Scientology and the other ones is, first off, they're not, like I said, they're not being honest. Mm-hmm. They're trying to just get a ton of money out of people just by scamming them. And they're taking advantage of with human trafficking and child trafficking. So there's a difference there. And like I said, they made it personal against me when they were fighting me on the street. The one security guard, when I was going back and forth with him, this is the first night I started beefing with him. He told me to suck his. Yeah. And I said, okay, so because of that, I'm gonna end your religion now.
And because they come out too, I think people got to know about these buses. Like they'll come in there in the morning on these huge Greyhound buses or something like that. As a unit, they all have their masks on. They're just like, and then they all go into this building. And then at night, at 11:30 p.m. or something like that.
Listen, we were out there 2 weeks ago,
and what?
I think 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, they had vans full of kids.
What?
Kids coming out of there. So
what are they doing all day in there?
Working there 14, 15 hours a day.
Are they I don't understand, in that building, are they calling?
That's a separate building. Like the one where they come with the buses is actually down the street. That's on Ivar and Hollywood Boulevard. And so they'll come there every hour on the hour all night long. I'm talking about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. You'll see people being brought to the buses who are so old and crippled they can't even walk.
Oh my God.
They have to be kind of helped they're going to squeeze every ounce of labor out of those people.
Because they can't retire. They have no retirement savings, right?
They have no retirement savings, but on top of it, they've been volunteering their whole life because it's not a job.
Yeah.
So it's technically volunteering. So they don't even qualify for Social Security.
Oh.
Additionally, when you're in there, they're going to take out credit cards in your name. So you leave there. If you do leave, you leave with $150,000 in credit card debt.
God.
So it's.
And if you try to leave, they'll detach you from everyone you know. What's it called? Separate?
Yeah. So if you try to leave, they're going to put you through hell. They are going to, as soon as you leave, they're going to show up wherever you're at and try to bring you back in and talk you back in and start trying to blackmail you and reach out to your family and reach out to your friends and reach out to your employers. And so it's nasty stuff.
That is insane. Yeah. Especially old people too. It's and they have nothing.
They have nothing. And they have no problem. Once they realize that you are no longer useful, they have no problem just getting rid of you.
Are you worried that they'd ever plant false stories about you, or say you're a pedophile or anything like that?
They already have. They've been saying it's not that they planted false stories so far, even though they actually have a couple of them, but they're just nasty people. My son died a couple of years ago, and they have no problem just using that against me time and time again.
They'll bring that up to you?
Oh, yes. Oh,
really?
Purposely. Oh, mock me.
Really?
Literally mock me over it.
Wow. Yeah. That is insane.
Yeah.
Just security guard, they're just informed. I mean, do you think they have meetings about you every single day?
Oh, they lied about listen, you can lie about me and say whatever you want, but when you lie about my son, it's a different story. They were out there saying, and they're saying this out in the street in front of a million cameras, saying that I was a bad father because my son died in a gang war. This is totally untrue.
Really?
Yeah, it is a lie.
It's crazy that a church,
a religious organization. Now, think of another religious organization. Think of them doing something like that.
it'd be insane.
But this is normal practices for them. If you are deemed an enemy of the Church of Scientology, they are going to use any mean possible to come after you. And it's just nasty stuff. Again, a religious organization. It's part of the reason why I think they should lose their tax-exempt status.
What do they call that again? They have a word for it.
Fair game.
Fair games. And can you explain what that is?
Fair game is, like I said, it was the actual written policy of the Church of Scientology.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Of
right?
L. Ron Hubbard. I believe that it was in place until, technically, fully in place in writing until like the 80s. And then they said they no longer do it, but they do. And that's where anybody who's been deemed an enemy of the Church of Scientology, you use any tactics possible to come after them. They are fair game. Everything's on the table.
They view it as we're under attack, and if you're an enemy, then you are.
They're going to lie about you. They're going to use anything they possibly can to come after you.
Jeez.
And be as destructive as possible.
Some guy said that to you, right?
Said that to a journalist. The journalist was out there just filming, and actually somebody who was very pleasant, and he was very neutral. And one of their private investigators came over to him and started talking about how, it's fair game and stuff. And I said, okay, so you're playing that game. Now I'm going to find out. I told him, I'm going to find out your name. I'm going to find out, everything about you. And you're fair game now. And I did. I found his name is Mike O'Feld. And he was a private investigator for Talon Security, which is the security company for the Church of Scientology.
Are they Scientologists as well?
I would imagine so.
Probably,
because,
yeah.
Well, the guy who owns it is a Scientologist, and pretty much everybody that works there. They're not going to allow you to come in there and work security, do PI work for them unless you're actually attached to them.
It's like the cops.
So we came after him, and I found all his information. He just locked down all social media. I found his GoFundMe because it helped with his fertilization because he was having problems. And yeah.
Wow. It's like the cops too. I mean, you've chatted about the LAPD. They're like in good with the Scientologists.
They're in very good. They come to their protection. So it's been going on for years. Not long ago, the Hollywood Division police station on Wilcox, they used to have a Scientology kiosk inside of there.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and their old captain, Corey Palka, who was there until I think 2021, he really protected them. And not just him, they protected like Les Moonves from CBS with his sexual stuff that he's been dealing with. So he's a very dirty cop, but he went out of his way to protect the Church of Scientology. And there are Hollywood cops who are in the Church of Scientology.
So it's like funded by our taxpayer dollars. They have tax exempt status.
Over the last 2 months, they have called the police on us no less than 30 times. They have claimed that we have guns, that we're going to burn down the building. They claimed they call there making all sorts of false claims against us. The police would come and they would never arrest any of us. 3 of them have been arrested for spitting on us, for blowing the nose, for battery. Actually 4 of them, another one just the other night. We've never been arrested, and we keep it clean. I've always made a focus. I've always said we are here to do one thing. First off, we're going to leave this place cleaner than we found it, right? We're not going to leave any garbage around. Our goal is to win over the community. So we make sure that we're inclusive as possible. All the vendors that are around there, we spend our time sort of advertising them.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and they all love us. So the vendors and the tour vans and all that, they love us around there. We're trying to bring them in with us. And we want to have an environment where people can bring their kids out. And then if they don't have to protest, they can just come and hang out, and people come and hang out.
It's like a party out there, but not in like a bad way, in like a fun street party, block
people
party.
Travel from San Francisco, San Jose, San Diego. I had a guy travel from New Jersey to come hang out, and everybody has a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and you know what it's done? I got to tell you something. We've seen plenty of protests in this country, and usually over time, when you have protests, start wearing out. They wear out the community. They piss off the community. They start all block traffic, and it frustrates the community. It doesn't bring the community along. What we've done is we've made sure that when we have a crowd out there, keep a walkway through the sidewalk so everybody can walk through. We keep it clean. We keep it positive. We keep it fun. There's no fighting out there. Like I said, if somebody comes up to us and wants to fight us, we are not going to fight back. We're just going to take that. And it's because it's important to bring the community along, and we have. And the crowds got bigger and bigger until we reached our goal of shutting the place down, and it shut down. It's rare that you're going to have 2 months of nightly protests where crowds get bigger, the community comes along with you, and you reach your goal. But we did that.
crazy, honestly.
With a
Congrats
bunch of,
on that.
And
That's
you know,
awesome.
no, it's these kids out here. See, this is the thing. Like, you know, I'm 49 years old. I'm an older guy. My generation has always known about the Church of Scientology and knew about their abuses, but they said, "Oh, you can't do anything about it," or, "Oh, don't mess with them. They're scary. You know, they'll come after you." But these kids are the ones who are out there who are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, who are saying that not only are we not scared of you, we're going to sit out here laughing at you. We're going to mock you, and you guys are going to run from us. And they do.
Yeah. I mean, so many people I know are on Scientology TikTok, but like not Scientology TikTok, you know, that's promoting it, making fun of Scientology TikTok, including myself. And that's how, you know, that's how I got into it. I love it though, but you also said you work in finance as well. So I'd love to hear, like, a lot of people know that you do this. They know you for your content. Could you kind of give us some backstory on like what you do in your day to day? You said you own a finance company.
Yeah. So, you know, you own a brokerage. Just basically do small business financing work. We focus on SBA loans, commercial real estate, refinancing, things like that. We automated the process so that, listen, in the past, if you want to get some sort of small business loan, you'd have to go to your bank, credit union, shop around. You're going to get one quote if you even are approved. What we've done is we've sort of streamlined the process where with one application, we can actually match you up with thousands of different lenders over the course of a day through our algorithm to streamline the process, create competition, gives them better rates and terms, and just, you know, competition is always better.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we do during the day. And
so by day you're ripping finance, owning a company, and by night you're destroying Scientology.
A lot of that kind of runs itself these days, right? So
it's
just, you know, I've been around for a while and everything's sort of automated. And we really kind of nailed down, you know, our processes and stuff. At night, though, you know, like I said, for years I've been actually a cop watcher. It's been my main focus, and it still is to this day. My main priority, as far as my side tasks, are police accountability. My second one is political accountability. I really do a lot of focus on the politicians, trying to hold them accountable. You know, I'm always searching for when politicians are going to make a public, you know, have some sort of public engagement. I'm going to show up there and I'm going to confront them about, you know, whether it be Karen Bass on her lies about addressing homelessness. Same thing goes for Hugo Soto Martinez, my council member, and Nithya Raman. I don't care who they are. If a politician is going to be out there, I'm going to confront them. They've all sort of lied at some point, and so I'm going to hit them on that, because I don't think enough people do. I think journalism in LA is garbage. I think the LA Times is terrible at what they do. And so there's a huge void out there with holding politicians accountable. So I try to fill that void. Listen, the city council, LA City Council, we've had 5 council members either get arrested or sent to jail in the last 5 years.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a deeply corrupt. The FBI says that LA politics is more corrupt than even that of Chicago. It's deeply corrupt.
Oh wow.
And there aren't enough people putting, you know, scrutiny to the politicians and holding them accountable. So I try to fill that void and try to bring people along with me.
Okay, very cool. So you do so multifaceted with all that.
So
stuff.
Scientology that's like my third. My third project.
Robots number 4. Yeah.
You know, actually, you know,
number 6.
Or is that, robots should be number 1. Actually, it's funny because the robots, I got into it, you know, just messing with the robots, just talking.
Yeah, I love it.
It's not easy talking to it. It's just a box on wheels, and you have to try to talk junk to it. It's a lot easier to talk junk to Scientologists because there's so much to work with.
Yeah.
But what I did notice is, you know, with my cop watch, I had a lot of negative comments, of negative messages saying, you know, stop doing that, and I can deal with that. With robots, I would get messages saying, "Hey, man, stop messing with Marcus. Stop harassing the robots," and they're dead serious.
People feel bad for the robots,
but I don't get that with the Scientologists. I don't get any messages of anybody saying.
No one has any. Yeah, I feel like I'll see a comment on TikTok that's like, "Don't mess with them," and people are like, "Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me?"
Yeah, there's no. People have more sympathy for the robots than they do Scientology.
Because they got. Do you think that they had a hand in getting your account banned on TikTok? Is it back?
Yes. No. My account and Jessica's were banned at exact same moment.
Oh wow! So it was not like TikTok. Like you think they contacted TikTok or?
I do. And on top of it, right? It's when they banned me, they gave me a list of videos that they said violated the rules. These are all videos that had actually gone through moderation in the past that they deemed appropriate. And the last one that they used on the list for banning my account was literally me talking. The whole video was me talking to a food delivery robot.
Oh my god.
That was it.
So they're just fucking throwing random, like they're just.
Yeah, they just wanted us banned, and I believe the behest of TikTok. I do.
Okay.
I think it's unfortunate because I think we're doing important work out there.
Are you back? I know you got a backup account. Because like, where do people find you now?
So I took my robot account.
Oh yeah.
And I threw my picture on my robot account and using my robot account now as my main TikTok. But I'm mostly on YouTube. And listen, even before this, like a month before I was banned, I started noticing just really punitive stuff that didn't make sense. Videos taken down that for abusive behavior that there wasn't any abuse whatsoever.
And what do they call it? Harassment?
Yeah. And so it got really frustrating. So I started pivoting to YouTube where I've never had any videos taken down.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
So YouTube's kind of like the safe spot. TikTok.
YouTube is a safe spot for now, but some of the people in my crew have had their YouTube live feeds taken down because the Church of Scientology is now playing their own copywritten music outside of all their facilities. So when you go on YouTube as a live stream, they're getting their lives taken down and suspended for up to a week because of that.
So they're doing this on purpose so that people can't live.
They were setting up speakers outside, like the recruiting center, even on that side street. There's the front of the building. Then there's a side. They set up speakers there where they're playing copywritten music.
How do you get around that? Do you need to have like your own music that's going while?
Yeah, I mean, we can get around that by while you live stream, you play some white noise into your phone and speak. You can do that. Another way I've done it is I just won't necessarily live stream. I'll just record it, then get home, throw some background music to play that's louder than their music. But again, the fact that they're going to these extremes to try to stop us.
It's crazy.
All the music is pointed out at the street, even at the Blue Building. There's a Blue Building and they have a large parking lot, and then they have Sunset. They have speakers in the bushes on Sunset blasting out into the street, nowhere near their own building, specifically
like social media warfare.
Just to take us down.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's social media warfare, but then it's not going to work because every time they try something like this, we find a way around it.
It gets more people I mean, we're talking about it right now.
Exactly.
I feel like they're just digging their own deeper and deeper because it's like, wow. Like
I feel like it's a boa constrictor, and every time they struggle and try to do this, they just kind of like allow us to tighten our noose around them. And you know what? Listen, I got to tell you, like you said, do people watch them using these tactics feel like, oh, that's an inclusive group, that's an inclusive religion? What do they have to hide?
Yeah.
At any time, they can come out and have a conversation.
Because at the Celebrity Center, I see you're trying to interview people out, and other people, that also do what you do, are out there trying to interview people. A member of the church will start talking to them, and then like within 5 seconds, some security guard will be like, run out and grab them and be like, no. Yeah. And like, what the hell is that?
That's wild stuff right there.
Crazy.
When you have to control their every thought, who they communicate with. What kind of religion does this?
Yeah.
And I think people see that, and I don't think, they think, what's the worst that somebody can say? Why are they so scared of us knowing anything about your religion? If you should be pretty confident in your religion, you should be like, let me talk about it nonstop.
Yeah,
Something I care about, I'll talk about it nonstop. So why won't you guys? Why won't you engage? At any time you could, they choose not to. Their thing is to retreat, hide, and stay secretive. But again, they're retreating inside. What they're not doing now is acting like they own the sidewalk. We own the sidewalk.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to let the people know? Like any Instagram ads, anything you want to promote? Where do people find you? Let the people know, because I mean, who knows what will happen with TikTok and all that shit. I mean, like, I know they're coming after the accounts and whatnot. So yeah.
My main account for the Scientology stuff is Scientology _audit on YouTube. You can still find my Scientology audit or Streets LA on TikTok. It's just a different account that will show up. And then most of my other stuff, I do my cop watching. So I'm Film the Police LA on YouTube. I'm Film the Police LA on Twitter. I'm Film the Police LA on Instagram.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. This was like super interesting, honestly. I love it. So thank you for letting the people know. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah.